Have you ever stopped to think about this? What if the very shape of our homes, the actual walls that surround us every single day, could fundamentally change not just how we live, but maybe even who we are? Okay, just look at this contrast. On one side, you have the world most of us know, right? A grid of concrete and steel, all sharp, right angles. And then on the other, you have something else entirely. A vision that looks like it just grew right out of the landscape. Our journey today is going to be between these two realities. We're going to explore what happens when we decide to abandon the straight line for the curve. So let's dive in, and we're going to start with what's familiar. Part 1, the prison of the box. We're going to explore how all those right angles we just take for granted might be shaping us in ways we've never even thought about. For literally centuries, we've been building in these, well, rectilinear cages. And you have to understand, this wasn't just an architectural choice, it was a philosophical one. We decided to surround ourselves with shapes that you almost never find in nature. I mean, nature's all about curves and spirals and fluid motion. So in doing that, we've created a world that's fundamentally disconnected from the planet we actually live on. And this is where it gets really fascinating. This is a claim about the corner itself. It's not just a geometric feature, it's seen as an energetic dead end. The argument is that energy, kind of like water, needs to flow. But when it smacks into a sharp 90-degree angle, it gets stuck, it stagnates. And this isn't just some physical thing. The idea is that it translates to our consciousness, making us more rigid, more tense. So what if there's another way? Well, that brings us right to part 2, growing a third skin. This is a completely different philosophy of what a home can be. And this right here is the core idea that changes everything. We aren't building a house. We are growing a third skin. Just let that sink in for a second. It moves architecture from the world of mechanics to the world of biology. Suddenly, the home is no longer just an object we occupy. It's a living, breathing extension of ourselves, deeply connected to the earth. The architectural genius here is all about harmony with nature. A dome doesn't just stand there and fight the wind with a flat wall. No, it lets the wind glide right over it. It's a dance, not a battle. And because of that, this form is just inherently more stable. It works with natural forces instead of struggling against them. And the materials themselves are, well, they're essentially alive. What you're looking at here is a cross-section of a rammed earth wall. It acts like a natural battery for the building. It soaks up the sun's heat all day and then slowly releases it at night. It literally breathes, regulating humidity and creating a stable, healthy indoor climate without any complex machines. So we've looked at the structure from the outside, but what does it actually feel like on the inside? That brings us to part 3, the energetic vortex. This is where the human experience really takes center stage. And this image just lays it all out perfectly, doesn't it? On the left, you've got the box, creating turbulence, stagnant energy, and a psyche defined by rigidity. And on the right, the dome, fostering that aerodynamic flow, that circulating toroidal energy, and a state of deep resonance. It's a direct contrast between a system that traps and a system that flows. This shift is described as something you can actually feel. The moment you walk into a space like this, something changes. That constant low-level tension of the box world, it just dissolves. The curved walls create this sense of being held, of safety, and the frequency of the space itself just feels calmer, more expansive. So how does this work energetically? Well, this slide shows a toroidal vortex. Instead of stagnating in corners, energy circulates continuously. And what's so incredible is that this pattern is everywhere in nature. It's the shape of an apple. It's the magnetic field of our planet, the spiral of a galaxy. It is a universal pattern of flowing, vibrant life. And here's a wild idea. These shapes aren't just pleasing to us. Our own biology is hardwired to them. The proportions, the golden ratio spirals you see in these designs are the same ones found in our own DNA and in the structure of our eyes. We recognize the sacred geometry on a deep, primal level because it is the geometry of life itself. This biological recognition has some pretty profound psychological effects. A curved wall just feels protective. There are no sharp, blind corners, and that innate sense of safety lets our nervous system finally relax, switching off that chronic fight-or-flight response that defines so much of modern life. All right, now let's scale this idea up, from the individual to something much, much bigger. Part 4, an architecture of community, moving from self to society. So if our inner state changes, how does that affect our relationships? Well, the acoustics in a round space are fundamentally different. Sound is clearer, more focused, and this creates an environment where communication becomes more resonant and authentic. When we feel safe and at peace, we connect more deeply and honestly, and that's the foundation for a stronger community. This elevates the whole concept to a spiritual dimension. By building in harmony with the geometric patterns of life, we are doing more than just creating shelter. We are consciously aligning ourselves with the larger patterns of the cosmos, from the smallest atom to the grandest galaxy. It's really about finding our place within a universal order. And this is the ultimate vision. When individuals inhabit spaces that foster inner harmony, they can come together to form communities based on that exact same principle. It's an architecture designed not for isolation, but for connection, for resonance, for shared purpose. This, the source argues, is a blueprint for a different kind of future. So to bring it all together, the central idea is incredibly potent. When we change the shapes we inhabit, we change the way we think. The journey from the box to the dome isn't just an architectural choice. It's a return to a more natural, harmonious way of being. It's a return to the circle. It is, in a sense, a return home. So we'll leave you with this to think about. Take a moment to just look at the shapes that define your world, your room, your office, your city. If we were to change them, could we truly change ourselves?